occurred. Later came philosophy and science. If we understand the history of the world, philosophy and science are outshoot from religion. They sprung off from religion. So that should tell you that once there was a scientific orientation in religion. If it was not, then how did science branch off from it? That should also tell you that once there was a philosophical school in religion, it was just part of the religion. And these things branched off from religion, and now we have religion, we have philosophy, we have science. And we don't know that they all began in one, and that was in religion. When Allah revealed the Qur'an to Prophet Muhammad, He revealed that knowledge to Prophet Muhammad for all of us, that actually the beginning of man was not a search for the unknown. He was not looking for the mysteries. He was not looking for mysteries. He got mystified later. He was not looking for mysteries. The man was looking for truth. He was looking for facts. He was looking for reality. He was looking for practical side of things. Because the man knew that he was forced by the very nature of the environment that he cast in, this physical environment, he was forced to be practical. The man had to eat. He had to take care of his family. He had to defend himself against the harsh environment, against the wilderness, or against the wild creatures. So the beginning of life had to deal with the realities of life. Some of us think the beginning of life was an Eden, a garden of paradise, where the man had everything and nothing to do. That's what we think the paradise is, was. A place where everything was perfect, no disease, no hot, no cold weather, no work. Everything was music. Even in the rain, it was musical. The wind blew a song. The rivers, they ran music, and just everything was just blissful. Required nothing, like hardship, And, the way the Genesis goes, that when the man was made and put in the garden, that's the way it was. And because of his disobedience, he had to work. See, now you shall work by the sweat of your brow. Now you shall work by the sweat of your brow. And we misunderstand that. This is deep religious science. Deep religious science that we misunderstand. And naturally, we misunderstand it. It's not our language. It's the language of those who hoarded the knowledge. It's not our language. Okay, you are not expected to speak the language of somebody else unless they taught it to you, or unless you learned it, you see. So it's no criticism or mockery on our part that we don't know it. No, indeed. But it is a fact that we don't know it. And believe me, most of the preachers don't know it. Most of these preachers preaching in the church, they don't know the deep wisdom of the Scripture. They're just teaching Sunday school talk, language, Sunday school knowledge, nursery school knowledge, and that's the limit of their understanding. They don't have it, and there's a strain on them. It really is cruel of the religious leadership in the world, not just Christianity, in the world, that they deny the leaders of the masses the understanding of what they're teaching. And I've seen preachers strain for understanding, not only in the church, in here. I've seen preachers in the Temple of Islam, under the Holy Elijah Muhammad, straining for understanding. I remember the time when I was straining for understanding myself, straining for understanding. That's not right. We shouldn't have to live like that. That's giving a man tools that he doesn't know how to work with. Say, here's the job, here are the tools, but you didn't train him to work with those tools. And he get up there and he pulls out a saw and he hits the nail with a saw to drive it in, and he messed up the teeth of the straw of the saw, and everybody laughing at him. But he was never told, you know. He never saw it, and nobody demonstrated to him how to use those tools or nothing. They just gave him the saw. So he's hacking at the wood, he's hammering at the paint, at the glass, and everything's going to pieces. Because he hasn't been told what his tools are for. That's the kind of situation that this world put the masses in. And they put leaders over us who are limited, who can't use those tools, so that they'll be sure that we'll never rise as a community. Unless we rise by their own drawing us up. If they don't pull us up, we won't go up. So, dear beloved people, we want to really understand religion and see religion in the proper light. Understand what religion really is, and so we can appreciate it. You can't appreciate something if you don't know the value of it. If I think religion is a mystery, or religion is a spiritual exercise, and that it has no place in business, it has no place in politics, it has no place in science. If I feel that way, then I can't appreciate my religion. I can't devote myself as I should to the God of that faith. For the God of that faith then is made weaker and lower than the leaders in the world. For the leaders in the world, they are running our lives. They're running business, they're running science, they're running government, they're running all of these things. And if you tell me my religion has no place there, it has no place but as a spiritual exercise for me, then whether I accept it consciously or not, it affects me in a way to make me disrespect the strength of my knowledge when it's compared with the strength of the world's knowledge. So if the world knowledge tells me to go right and my knowledge tells me to go left, most likely the majority of us are going to go right and not left. If my knowledge tells me to go right and the world say go left, most likely majority of us will go left because we are not given an appreciative idea or understanding of what our religion really is. That's the situation of the world masses. Let me refer you to something in the Qur'an. It says, God created the man, who's called in scriptural languages Adam, and he gave Adam responsibility for the world that he was put into, to keep it right as God intended that it be. Now, in the language of the Qur'an, says, and God told the angel that he was going to create a man and make him ruler in the earth. And the angel said, what will you create other than that will cause bloodshed, the shedding of blood? And Allah said to them, I know what you know not. And it goes on to say that God exposed before the angel the names of things. And he told the angels, he said, tell me your names if you know. And they said, we have no knowledge except what you have given us. Meaning they were not able to tell They were not able to give the name. But then he told that man he had made, Adam, he said, tell them their name. And when Adam told them their name, they all made a gesture of submission, bow of submission to Adam. So here we see in this kind of genesis of man given in the Qur'an, the superiority of man that God made over the angels. However, we're told in the same Quranic version of the Genesis, if we may call it that, that one of the beings in the higher order of the angels refused. He became proud, self-conceited, arrogant, and he refused to acknowledge Adam's right to rule, to leadership, or to rule. And he said, I will not bow to this that is made of mud, fashioned into shape. And actually the word is not only mud, it's smelly mud. Smelly mud. Something that you frown up at. It's smelly mud. I won't bow to this smelly mud, fashioned that you have fashioned into shape. So God didn't reply to that directly. He said, when I have breathed into him of my spirit, then bow ye down. In other words, submit to him. You see? So what does this tell us? This tells us that the beginning of man in religion is not a beginning in superstition. It's a beginning in knowledge. This first man that God made, he had knowledge that angels didn't have. This first man that God made, he was blessed with the knowledge to name things. Do you know naming things is scientific? Naming a thing requires science. That is to name it accurately. See, that's why we have in this allegory angels who suggest to our minds persons with names. And one to tell them their name. So it makes you conscious of your own self, someone telling you your name. You see? I have a name. You can't, you don't, unless you know my name, you can't name me. You know? It tells them their name. Oh, John, Bill, Mahmoud, Shakir, Gonzalez, you know? Yeah. So they go on to name the names, tell the people the name. And when I hear my name, I say, yeah, that's me. That's my name. But here, these angels are not human persons. They're angels, which suggest mystery. Angels suggest that there's a mystery, an unknown quality. So to name that unknown quality requires some deep insight. You see? Now, so this is not just an ordinary naming. This is a scientific naming. They call certain metals a silver, or they call it aluminum. You know. Now, you may say, oh, yes, I know aluminum. I know the name. You know aluminum. You know the name. Okay. This here looks like it may be silver. It looks like it may be aluminum. It might be a number of things. So if I say, what is this? If I say, what is this mystery? You look at it. I don't know. It looks like silver. Looks like aluminum. Looks like quicksilver. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Adam knows. Who is Adam? The one with the scientific knowledge. The one who knows the scientific makeup of this. He will tell us, maybe he won't tell us right away, but he would take it to the lab, and he would put it under certain tests, and though it looks exactly like the other, and sometimes he won't have to do that. If his knowledge is good enough, he won't have to do that. You might look at it and say, oh no, it's not silver, I tell you that right now. He'll start eliminating what is not by just surface observation. Well, it's not silver, I tell you that right now. And he might lift it up, not aluminum either. You can be sure of that. So let's take it to the lab. Science. Science. What do you think run this world? Science. What do you think has put America over other nations? Science. What has made Russia the number one contender? Science. What would we look like calling you to equality with white folks if we don't invite you to get involved in science? How are you going to be equal with them and they have science and you don't? Oh, that's what it is? Prophet Muhammad didn't have science, he had faith. He had faith that led him to science. And when he got to science, he got on top. Yes. And they became the torchbearers of science to the known world. Oh, yes. And that's why terms like algebra have their origin in the Arabic language, because it was those people who revived the sciences. Those early Muslims who followed Prophet Muhammad, on him be peace. Science. We have to think as men and women respecting science. We have to live with respect for science.